My name is Itodo, Benedict, Ojobo. Itodo is my native name when I was born. That's the name my parents gave me. And then when I grew up as a Catholic, we have to do baptism. So when it was time for me to be baptized, the white people, they asked, what is your baptismal name? You know, they tried to take our native name away and give us a baptismal name. So I now took the name Benedict. So Itodo Benedict Ojobo. That's my father's name is Ojobo. That's my surname. Oh, big guy, how are you? How are you? I was born at Omusu, Olago, Edumoga. I didn't know my dad. He died before I was reasonable. I was told I was 6 years old when he died. His name is Ojobo Agbo, and my mother's name is Onyoy. When she became baptized, she became Mary. So my mother's name is Onyoy Mary. So after my father died, 1961, 62, I remember very well, I left Omusu and I moved to Olago. And because my dad wasn't there, I grew up with my mom. She's a poor woman at that time as a widow. It wasn't easy for us. But while I was at Omusu, when I was still very small, I started my primary school there with my mother's brother, who is my uncle. He's late now. His name is Michael Uja. So I went to Opolipo. They called the school Roman Catholic School Opolipo. I spent just 1 year or so there. So I moved with my mom to Olago, where I started or continued my primary education. There too, because it wasn't easy, there was a teacher, they used to call him Ignatius Adiku. He was posted to Olago as a primary school teacher, and so he stayed with us, and then he was transferred to Obotu. At that early age, my mother then he said I should go with him. So I went with him to Obotu, and I spent another 1 year with him, and then came back to Olago. When I was matured enough to walk a distance, I then started my primary school at St. Peter, at that time, Olanyega, St. Peter's RSM School, RCM, I think that's how they call it, Roman Catholic Mission School at Olanyega. A distance of about 8 kilometers from Olago. At that time, we used to walk. We go in the morning, walk a distance of 8 kilometers. At the end of the close of day, around 2 o'clock, we walk back to the village. If we have games, we have to run back to the school to do our games. So it was not easy, but I followed through from that 1962. I remember very well. 62, 63. I was promoted. I think I was primary 3. We did exam, and I was promoted to primary 4. I didn't do primary 3. So by 1966, I think December 1966, I finished my primary school at that RCM Catholic school at Olanyega. The school is still there. So that early stage, it was difficult. Going to secondary school too, it wasn't easy for me. Of course, school fees that time was very, what we make, less than, it used to be 2 shillings, 5 pence, equivalent of 5 naira. Yeah, I think it's about 5 naira now. And it wasn't easy. It was difficult. I had to go to my senior sister. Her name is Ojobo, Margaret. She was married, and they were living at Itodo, Asa. So I used to go to her during holidays, and I remember, and I can tell you frankly, I hacked wood. My sister would take me to her farm. We would collect firewood. She would break it into small, small pieces, put it on my head, and we travel, I think, 5 kilometers from Asa to Tukpo to sell this food at that time in order to raise 2 shillings, 4 pence to pay my school fees. I did that until I finished primary school in 1966. So at that age, that was how it was. Poor background. My mommy, of course, a poor woman, a widow, and she was helping me actually. She was selling a pot, clay pot. She used to go to the market at Ukwo, Kalegu in Enugu State now. She used to trek 3 days. She would leave today, spend the next day, and then come back and go to the market to dispose of the clay pots. Back home, yes, for survival as a child, you must have to work in the farm. And because my dad wasn't there and I stayed with my mom, we had to go to the farm almost on daily basis. And then we come back as children. We hunt birds, we hunt rats, we hunt all these small animals, and we go fishing most of the time, because if you can't bring in anything to the house, like fish or rat or bird, then you have a meal without protein, as it was in that time. So if our mommy will go and cook, they'll tell you, what did you bring? Otherwise, the soup will be empty and dry. So we did a lot of hunting and fishing, and I do know how to fish, I do know how to swim. As a child, we have a river you have to cross, and then of course we have to harvest bush mango, because at that time melon wasn't there, all these modern food ingredients or soup ingredients were not there. So you have to go to the farm, you have to go to the bush mango with your other colleagues and things like that. And of course, we play football. We don't have football as such, but we have oranges and sometimes big mangoes. And we put it in the house and we run after it. And our hunting expedition was very, very exciting. We were using bows and arrows, and then we hunt all these rats. You leave house in the morning during dry season, hunting season, and you come back sometimes in the evening. Surprisingly, you will spend the whole day and you come back with nothing. I know my dad, I was told he was a very good hunter, but incidentally, I didn't pick that from him. I could go from morning till evening and I would come back empty-handed, and my mother would say, why did you even go in the first place? And I would come back dirty, fagged out. She would say, well, you didn't come back with anything, so you will eat without anything in the soup. It used to be very funny, but that's how it was growing up. So, favorite meal at that time as a child, this yam, pounded yam was our favorite food, because we farm a lot of yam, and that's how up to today I can't help not going to the farm. So I have to do that. And in those days, gari wasn't there. People were not eating gari. You either have yam or you have nothing. Rice was in fact, it was only Christmas period that we used to eat rice. Or when you have visitors, then you eat. Otherwise, nobody. It was very, very interesting. When I look back with nostalgia about those life, how I wish my children had experienced some of the things we experienced at that time. Things are easy for them now. But we also have a saying, because my mother used to say, we have suffered, so you, our children, should not suffer. I think we carry that legacy and try to make sure that our children enjoy what we did not enjoy as a child. So that's basically how it was growing up. So the habit of eating pounded yam three times a day, I can tell you, is part of our activities. And so games, yes, right from my childhood, I know I play games. I play football. And up to the time I joined the army, and I was in the army, up to when I went to the university, I still play football. When I was in Bauchi, I play football even for up to the state level. But now I can't even kick a ball. I'm not blowing my trumpet. I wasn't a dull child. And so, but when I finished primary school in 1966, like I said, before then, this issue of secondary school came. It used to be Roman Catholic all the way. So we did entrance to Mount St. Gabriel Secondary School in Makudi. Only 3 of us were successful in that entrance. Myself, Michael Obuche, and John Okparichi. Both of them are still alive. They were primary school mates. But incidentally, I couldn't go. I couldn't raise the caution deposit, as they call it that time. It used to be £5, 10 naira. I couldn't raise that £5. My senior brother James, he was nowhere. He was somewhere in Niger State that time. And then my other elder brother Emmanuel, we have the same mother, is late now. Two of them, both James and Emmanuel, are late now. I called him. I spoke with him because that time there was no telephone. So you have to get somebody to send a message to send me £5 so that I can go to secondary school. He said he doesn't have £5. That's a big amount of money. Where do I think he will raise it from? After some time, he sent a message. He said, okay, I should wait till Easter. He will raise money and send. So he couldn't send. So I didn't go to secondary school. I did not. When I was going, I remember very well, my mother called me and said, look, I made sure you went to primary school because your father told me that they should use my sister. I have a sister, the one I told you at Itodo. She's in Lagos now. Her name is Ojobo, Margaret Ojobo. My mother said, my father said, when she's marrying, they should use the money to train me, to pay for my primary school fees. But you know the way uncles behave. When my father died, when my sister got married in 1960, I remember I was 61, the money was then 120 naira, £60. They gave it to my father's nephew, Agbo Jogi. The Jogi and my father have the same mother and father. They gave him the money to say, look, keep this money. The father said, use it for school fees and don't use it to marry for him. When it was time for me to raise that money, it wasn't easy. The man said, he can't pay his own children's fees and I want him to give me the money. That the money wasn't kept like that. So I struggled through and my mother said, well, I finished all I can do for you. I can't pay your school, secondary school. But I understand people can go and do it themselves. So if you go out, try and go to school on your own. And I continue to remember that last discussion I had with my mother before I left the village. So when I got to Kaduna in that 69, I, of course, was anxious of going to school, but there was nowhere I could go. So I started to a little work as a primary school leaver. Then it wasn't difficult for us to get a job. So first I started as a houseboy for one Indian. I can't remember the Indian now. He was paying, was it £1 a month? That was what he was supposed to pay. And he never paid. I think I worked for him for 4 months. He didn't pay. So I had to go to Kakuri. And we used to trek from where I was in Kao from Kakuri to town. The labor office, I used to be a labor office. So all of us who are primary school leavers would go to labor office and register. Recruitment into the Nigerian Army came in. So, because we were always going to labor office to look for employment, so they now came and announced that all able-bodied young men who want to join the army can go to Kao, Kaduna for recruitment. Because at that time it was a civil war period. Because as you know, the civil war started in 1967 after the crisis. That didn't make me to go to secondary school. So one day I went. A lot of us went, and we stayed. We trekked from Kakuri to Kao, a distance of more than 15 kilometers. We used to trek, and we trekked there. We got there. I got there, fagged out. I came. They said, no, there was no recruitment that day. Everybody should go away. And I couldn't go back because I couldn't trek back. I didn't have any money to even enter. At that time, transport from Kao to Kakuri used to be £1. Is it 1 pence? Just one. But you couldn't raise it. So I stayed under the shade till about 11. I don't know the exact time, but later they now blew whistle. I said, hey, everybody come. They are coming to do recruitment. So those who left missed that opportunity. So those of us who waited, then I said, okay, come and line up according to your states. That time it was Benue Plateau. And of course, it was a long line. And we stayed. they came, they selected maybe 5, 10. You line up, you run. Because I played football, so running wasn't difficult for me. And they lined us off, about 10 of us, I remember. It's 100 yards, dash. As you get there, they already arranged soldiers to stay there. They take the first 5. The other 5, they chase you away. So I was among the first 5, and I was taking. They came to the measurement, and they looked at me. I was small, because at that time, 1952 to 1969, 17 or 18 years, I can't remember. I was very young then. They said, no, your height, okay, height is not bad, but you are so small, you can't make it. Then I remember very well, one RSM now, I remember, he looked at me, he said, look, this small boy, you think you can carry gun? I said, yes, I can carry gun. Then the person going with him said, let him go and grow in the army. That was how I was picked. Then he took us to 44 Armed Forces Medical Center, and we did the medical test. And of course, that was how I joined the army. These are students of Divine Secondary School. My children have always told you of my plan for you. And my plan is to have the best and produce the best children from here. And so far, it's been like that. I think you have a top number of teachers, and I think everything has been going on well. Am I correct? And I also expect to have the best from you. You must be very serious with your studies, because like I always told you, there is no success. You cannot achieve anything if you are not determined, if you are not serious, and if you don't do your work well. In this school, I've told you, there is no miracle center. You must work for whatever you have. We have always said the essence is not to make money, but to produce children who will be forthright in Nigeria, who will look back to this community and say, yes, I finished from Divine Secondary School, Olago. Just like I finished from here, and from nowhere, as God has helped me, I decided to bring back the development to the community. So I'm looking forward to all of you being serious with your studies, and looking back when you finish with nostalgia that this is what somebody has done for you. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I never imagined that I was going to run a secondary school. So that's why the name Divine Secondary School came in, because it's by God's divine intervention. Something I never imagined, but God said, come and do it. And then I decided to do it. I approached the community, talk of land, and I spent almost, in fact, the money I would have used, which I used to do the guest house, if I had the desire to go into school, to run school for profit, that school would have been a big one. So, but now I said, why don't I do it? And I started doing it, and I started seeing the challenges. And I said, why do I abandon the children? And I saw the enthusiasm about the community. They are happy. They don't have to send their children to Bukulu, where they will not monitor the children, where they will not know what they eat, where they will come home on Thursday, go back on Tuesday because they want to come and make gari, they want to buy kerosene. This one, they stay with their parents at home. They close from school 2 o'clock. Their father knows where they have gone. So it really encouraged me. And every time something is telling me, do that for your community, leave a legacy for your community. And so I've been putting a lot. Now I had to get somebody to design a proper functional structure for the school. And I'm sure when you go there, you will see it. So we got the land through the help of the community. We fenced it, put on the structures, started, and it's doing fine. We now have JSS 1 to 3, SS 1 to 3, and we are developing the structure. We've completed the admin block. We are building the science lab. We have also building the exam center to enable us approach WAEC for WAEC center. We've already gotten phase 1 and 2 approval from the Benedict State Ministry of Education, and we are going to apply for the third phase, following which we can now approach WAEC. And all things being equal, and by the special grace of God, I hope God will permit me to complete it, to leave that legacy the way others have left. Today you hear of Tai Solarin, you You hear of Rocky Foundation, you hear of Ford Foundation. People have done something for their community. The church, we help them to renovate it. The graveyard, we have a community cemetery. Every year I give them money to spray the grass. Even now you go, you see they have cleared it at my expense. And so that's how it has been. So I think, and that's why I can't even leave the community, because that's where I was born, and that's where I grew up, and that's why I don't want to leave. People are saying, what are you doing? Come on, they are kidnapping people, they are doing this. Why don't you say if you stay in Lagos, Abuja, you will? I said no. Whatever I have, the pension I receive, I put it. That school, I pay the teachers. The total number of students there, they are about 100. They pay 4,000 or 5,000 naira. It's not enough to pay teachers. I have about 6 core members in that school. I built Corpus Lodge for them. The teachers, the home main teacher, about 3 or 4 of them, they are accommodated. I extend light from my house to the places. Even the TV I watch in the house is what my children watch. If you have sight, I have a community viewing center. If you go, you will see it, where once there is light, or when I on gen, when I'm home, they stay out, they watch Nigerian movie, they listen to news. So that's part of the thing that I think I do for the community. And I'm happy those who appreciate it will appreciate. But then, for every community, there are those who feel either I'm not doing enough, or it's always there. To my children, to my grandchildren, and to those who will come after, maybe my great-great-grandchildren, maybe I will no longer be there. My principle, or what has guided me all this while, is humility. Humility, dedication, hard work, and of course, your belief in God. I want to tell them, and I want to tell all of you, that you can only succeed in life through hard work. You don't need anybody. I did not have anybody, but I had God, and He saw me through. Right from my primary school, I've given them the story. They can read it. They can ask questions. I went through life without knowing anybody. Hard work, humility, and dedication to duty got me through. Once you know what you are doing, and you do the best you can, you leave the rest to God. And I want to tell all of you, wherever you are, that your guiding principle should be that humility. Don't take anybody that is a nobody. Because even your father, your great-grandfather, or your grandfather was nobody. But God saw him through. Today he's somebody. I cannot say I'm a failure in life. I've got wives. I've got all of you, my children. I got all of you educated in the best school that I think I can afford to give you. And I'm proud of you wherever you are. So you should be proud of me. I should take that from, don't lie to anybody. Just be truthful, be honest in whatever you're doing, and you'll be sure that you will succeed. Of course, you have your destiny, which you are going to attain in life, and you must work towards it. And the only way you can attain it is through this humility, hard work, honesty, and dedication to duty. And I'll be happy and proud of all of you, even when I leave this earth, and I look back, if there are spirits, and I say, yes, I have children. There are all of you today that are alive, about 13 of you. I have no regret for any one of you. All of you are doing pretty well. The last one, Ochai and Joe, they are all undergraduates. All my children are graduates. And I believe all your own children and grandchildren will finish and be better off than you, the way all of you are better than me now. Better than me because I never had TV. Today, all of you have, I don't know how you will call it now, all over. I never knew, I did ride bicycle, I never had. Ambrose now flies plane. Ado is there in Australia. Josephine there in Jam. All of you, everywhere. Ojobo is a medical doctor. If I say I have headache now, I say, hey, Papa, come, take this, take this. And that's how your own children will be. I'm proud of all of you, and I hope you look back and be proud that you had a father who had a vision, who had a mission, and who tried to guide the children. You must always be God-fearing. I can tell you I'm not a fanatical religious person, but I believe in God and I worship God. And I do what I think. They say, do unto others what you want others to do unto you. You don't have to be a pastor. You don't have to be a reverend father to be God-fearing. So in your life, be God-fearing. For the grandchildren, respect your parents. Your parents today respect me. none of my children have ever been a problem for me. Even those who were, as they are growing up, we try to put them, and they are doing very well. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of them. At the 70th birthday that this program will be shown, I would like to see them all around me, so that after I'm gone, they will look and say, okay, we listened to Grandpa, we saw him, and here he is. So thank you very much for the opportunity to talk to you people, to see you, and for you to see me, so that when your grandchildren say, oh, we don't know, like I said, I don't know my dad. If this facilities was there, I can tell you, oh, see, this is my father. He was a good farmer, he was a good hunter, and this is what he has done. Today, you are privileged. And I still remember what my mother told me. Say, go and do what you think others are doing to better yourself. So all of you, wherever you are, take advantage of your environment. Do the best you can do. Don't sit down and say, oh, I don't have anybody. I can't do this thing. There is nothing like that in life. You can achieve what you want to achieve through the mercy of God. To my direct descendants, not the grandchildren yet, but it will come out to you as well. Those of you who you have seen what I have done, I please want to plead with you, especially for those of you who will be privileged or who have the opportunity to continue. I try to leave a legacy at the personal level for you people as my children, for the community. And I want to appeal to you, those of you who have promised that for that school and for the lodge, that even if you go, we will maintain, we will keep your name. I want to appeal to you to do all you can to make sure that after my demise, I don't know when, I may be opportune to be another 10, maybe when I'll be 80 or 85. And surprisingly, I'm sure those of you have seen the passengers playing football at the age of 85. So I'm sure God may also give me that same opportunity, and we work these things together. But I want you people to take up that challenge. Wherever you are, remember your background. Remember where you come from. Whatever you are doing, where you are in abroad, in anywhere in Abuja somewhere, know that you have a home. Come and join, raise the community. Don't say, am I the only one? You make a difference. My father had 9 children. Today, I'm the only one that God has given me the opportunity to do what I'm doing. And so those of you who, if you are 13, but only 1 or 2 of you may have the opportunity or the privilege or the ability. Don't say because Mike didn't do, didn't do, why must I be the one to do? No. One person. The president of Russia, Putin, all the Nigerian presidents, Obasanjo has brothers. Did anybody hearing of his brothers? Jonathan, Dangote, all of them. So be the Dangote of your community. Be the Jonathan. You don't need to be president to do something for your community. So I want to appeal to all of you who are privileged and who are listening to me to keep the legacy. Even if I go, even if I don't go, join hand. Make sure that the vision and the mission I have for the community is sustained. This is a personal appeal to you, both of you who are in your husband's houses, those of you who are men. Don't say, it's a man's job. No, you can do it. People have done it. And I believe you will have the ability, and you will do this for my community so that the name will ring in so many years or after we are gone to say, yeah, this person has the children. It was one out of many equals or something like that. So thank you very much.
My name is Ada Grace Ojobo. I got married to my husband, Barrister Itodo Ojobo, in the year 1975, in April to be precise. We have 6 children together, 3 boys, 3 girls. Educational wise, he is somebody that is pushing. If you are with him, he pushes you to be educated at all costs. He's open, he says his mind at any time he wants to say it, anything happens. And that is some aspect that inspired me. He's a generous man. He gives freely out of, even when he doesn't have, the little he has, he will make sure he share with people who, especially those who lack. That is the only one I can point at now, because if I say I will mention them all, it will take a lot of time. Anya une ohugbo aho na no huma aho anya hugbo eyi na gili kwano anya hugbai anya hugbo ema na geya tano the kududu. Me, I have seen that all my years with him, it pays to be generous, because it paves way for somebody. At times when you feel the road has ended, you see that something from somewhere you don't expect will open a way for you. I wish him long life, prosperity, plenty money in his bank account, and above all, good health. He should age in good health. He should not become a vegetable in the long run. That is my wish for him. And Pinky, I wish you a happy birthday and many, many returns of this day. You will not die, you will live long to see your children's children's children, and you will age in good health. In the name of Jesus.
Olena yeyin leko Alice Ben Ojobo Adano aboinu Barrister Ben Ojobo anu wo bumma and ke bato ha for the past year fepa in your bohoinia and our church bless ya mlano laelo achanya weta then achanya loke wepa ega mana we to bless yana olanu ndoka le fupo onwufi na no memla no huma eba ipoye yedege na no balo for the past year fepa no gaya ikoduma no gale kododuma nge holo ada nge ho aleka hini ikoduma no owolele kododola no ndoka lipoye inu mostly aleka hini owada yodu dache oche duma enenu holunwa once na holunwa ada yo no wea oga treat oche duma ho yotuka na wocho ha ene wo yocho ha ene wo ya boy ma aholunu lekododola ni doka no lipoye ma funu ha bloa olu difference lipoye inu ikoduma na loma lekododuma owada yodu dache anoduda no dudu we love him for that. Ipola duma no yale kododuma ihotu no jeludu daleche o jabolo na inu ma o jabolo fie inu oche duma no ma oji hotunu so anodoka no lea gaga ipoye inu so hugwo ma anodudu anoki doka no lelea anoto chelanya even ekono oyo birthday inu liha igbo no gaya anokele kwala ke hogbo kolo chole koduma ka ikoduma no ge yewaga for 70th birthday inu ma anoge to chelanya ge gwede lo chugaga ano chuke yo tote no la no bijaga for 70th birthday inu na so anoba gwede gaga anoke to chelanya lo anoka egbo kolo chu kono lo lipo jelo edega no jelo healthcare le no kenya edega mana no egbo kolo chu lo akono lo lipo jelo kuklo ene no chu jelo ko yala no a kono lo ya complete anoke to la henya gaga huka edega no chu jotu yo yala chelo le a kono ke continue kono lo lipo jelo. We wish him all the best. Anoto chela nya gaga ola ndoko wish no lo birthday no na leka hini oklo lohi no huma yang me chechechi ya owo cho no tabo kono yuklo lohi anya obopio huka olohi gebin olohi duma na yalo lechia owo cho laya no gegbule lonyonye in various way so anoge gbokolo wo cho ko wo cho ono tola bo kono lo ule lohi agbalo kono lo lipo jelo lipoye inu kuklo duma enenu gaya kono lo ya complete gbobu ko wo cho no ho igu nyole o ma ofunu na nole no le tabwa o wo cho no ke meyin no kono ke lu more years jelo kano ke enjoy no edege na no ke ma enjoy no mu bihia